Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships, and today we are saying goodbye to the Tier 8 American destroyer, the Benson. Oh, I've been looking forward to moving on, but I do like the Benson, don't get me wrong. But let's quickly take a look at the map. We are playing on Shatter. We have a Fitagrosso, we have Alabama, Colorado, Baltimore, Otago, 2 Atlantas, Belfast, Fletcher, Benson, Akatsuki, and a Kagero. On the enemy team, there's a Iowa, North Carolina, Neptune, 2 New Orleans, Atlanta, Miyoko, Fletcher, Kagero, Harakaze, Sims, and Akatsuki. And I am joined with a good friend of mine, Brandon, in his Alabama. And as you can see, the teams, there's a lot of cruisers, and a lot of them have either radar or some form of hydro, so got to be a little bit careful. Now we do have RDF on the Benson, and as you can tell, we are located as well. Now the Benson is a great destroyer to push into caps because of its low detectability as well as its very decent guns. So gonna try to push into B. I do have Brandon, who is gonna follow in as well to try to assist. And I will have to say, I did not expect what is about to occur later on and survive it. We'll see how this goes. So obviously, as you can see, we know that there is a ship that is close to us that is just on the other side of this island. More than likely is someone going to be. So I am not actually going to try to get into cap. I'm actually going to keep my options open to allow any, or better yet, any form of escape available for us. Torpedoes are almost reloaded. Torpedoes are pretty decent. They have a 9.2 kilometer range, and we are detected by the enemy Fletcher. And gonna go ahead and open up on him. And there is the enemy Kagero coming in as well. Went ahead and dropped our own smoke screen. We do have a friendly, I believe, Fletcher in there as well, and Kagero is just heading straight for our torpedoes. Now the friendly Fletcher just went down to the enemy Fletcher's torpedoes. Got some torpedoes on this enemy Kagero. I think he just now realized there was a Benson here. Yeah, don't ask me, but there we are. First kill of the game. Just took out the enemy Kagero. Obviously, now there's a very low health Fletcher. Unfortunately, he does lay down his own smoke screen, and we are not able to see. Now, Brandon is starting to push around. He's taking actually a very smart maneuver. He's actually moving around this island. Doesn't want to push directly in. He wants to give himself at least some form of protection against any enemy torpedoes. But right now, I'm gonna go ahead and push around on the other side of this island. So basically doing the opposite of what he's doing, getting in a different position, hopefully to surprise any enemy destroyers. And the Benson's a pretty decent speed destroyer, and I run myself aground. Oh, good lord. Good lord. Now there is a enemy Atlanta, but he's playing as smartly as he can, and obviously just took out the friendly Akatsuki, but as well as now he's going to focus his attention on the friendly Atlanta. The friendly Atlanta's in a horrible position right now. He has New Orleans and even, I believe, a Miyoko over there as well as a possible Iowa. So speed on the Benson, it's pretty decent. You can get up around 38 knots, and there we have just lost our Atlanta, so we are down 3 ships to their 1. We have taken full control of C. The enemy team has control of both A and B for the most part. And there is the enemy Neptune, gets citadeled by Brandon right there. Brandon does have to be careful of the torpedoes of the Neptune, and obviously I'm not opening up against a Neptune. If you show off your broadside, and oh, look at this. Oh, those torpedoes. Those torpedoes are coming in. But going back to the Neptune, if you are facing off against a Neptune, don't show your broadside. Try to keep as narrow as possible. That should keep you alive a little bit longer in case you can get assistance from your friendly team. And there is the enemy Neptune, finally spotted. Very low on health. And there we go. Looks like Brandon just took out the enemy Neptune as well as the friendly Belfast took out that enemy Atlanta. So doing pretty well, but the enemy team still has 4 destroyers to R2. I believe most of them are Japanese. I believe, yes, the Harikaze, Atsuki are still alive, and the Sims as well. Now, unfortunately, those torpedoes are going to waste. They are obviously not going to be hitting any live ship, possibly a dead carcass of a Neptune. But now we are able to push in to B. Our friendly force is trying to take out the friendly team, and obviously there is the enemy Fletcher just grounded himself right there, and I am probably going to take a torpedo. Yep, there's very little I can do right there. They showed up way too soon, way too quickly, and enemy Miyoko. So I'm gonna quickly drop a smoke screen. This is more as a defensive smoke screen more than anything else. Will allow me to continue opening up against this Miyoko, and this Miyoko makes some interesting choices, to say the very least. So the enemy team is pushing out. We do have a Harikaze that is pushing out against the friendly Fidegorosa. Me and the friendly Fidegorosa work fairly well together, to say the very least, but kind of keeping an eye on this Miyoko. Going back to this Miyoko, he's gonna make a very interesting choice. I am spotted by him. The detection on the Benson is 5.8, but we should be fine. Now we can switch attention to the Harikaze. Harikaze is being hyper aggressive right now, and I'm actually kind of curious why. I don't think this Fidegorosa is actually running a secondary build on his Fidegorosa, which is kind of unusual. That would have helped him against this Harikaze. Now I have taken those torpedoes, so that torpedo obviously reduced my health by over half, and now I'm gonna have to be a little bit more careful and not as aggressive. And this is kind of a good thing about the Benson. The Benson can actually play kind of like a torpedo boat. She does have around 4.4 kilometers to play with. She can get a little bit closer. The torpedoes are fairly decently speed, so you do have that option. Now the enemy team is doing their best. Obviously the Fidegorosa is in a very unfortunate position, and I guess there are the secondaries. Probably due to the fact that he was more narrowed in against that Harikaze. But the enemy Iowa is coming along. I have another smoke screen coming in about a minute, so there's not much I can do. I'm hoping to get in front of this friendly Fidegorosa so I can get these torps off. I'm going to try to cut in. But what I was going to say about my Benson captain is I do not run Superintendent. And that means I only have 3 charges, both smoke and speed boost, and we are spotted by the enemy Iowa. Was he aiming at us? Really, no. So one spread of torpedoes are out. Still have another 20 seconds on the smoke screen. Harikaze is trying to pull away as quick as possible. Torpedoes are going to land, but I believe only one is gonna land. Yes, it does, and does cause flooding. So it looks like he might be actually taking some flooding damage. Very, very nice. It's possible that he used his damage control, and obviously he is currently focused on us. But instead, I'm actually going to try to take out this Akatsuki. He's very low in health, and there we go. Finally have our smoke screen available to us. Could have possibly tried to help this Fidegorosa, but I think he should be able to take a little bit more damage. Do get a fire on this Akatsuki, and this is where kind of the Benson shines, is the reload rate on this guns and the amount of firepower it can just pump out. Should be able to take out this Akatsuki. Very, very nice. Now, the Iowa has got rid of the flooding, just took another torpedo hit. Unfortunately, I don't think my torpedoes are going to land. Looks like he is starting to pull away, but if we can get a fire, that would be nice. Ooh, there we go. Now he has both flooding and fire damage occurring right at the moment. Should be able to take out this Iowa fairly quickly. And let's see, we're really racking up the damage, which is nice. Just as unfortunate that our torpedoes did not actually land. Now the Harikaze is still out here somewhere, and there we go. 4th kill of the game. Very, very nice. Very nice. Now there is, like I said, still a Harikaze still alive and well. Brandon is doing a really good job down at A, is trying to get rid of the enemy New Orleans. Harikaze does appear back up for a moment, and the Iowa captain's very upset that I'm still alive. Now I am actually 1 kill away from a Kraken, and oh, this Harikaze is very, very low on health, and I would love to get my Kraken. Just have this island between me and him. And let's see. Let's actually see if we can land our shells. Now, Brandon is nervous about the Harikaze. He didn't know if he has the torpedo reload torpedo reload module on him. And look at this. Look at this. That would have been our kill, Brandon. But unfortunately, Brandon does get the kill. And that means there's only 1 enemy ship left on the enemy team, and that is the enemy North Carolina, who is running away. Now, I think Brandon is gonna allow that fire to sit for a little while, but he's obviously gonna go after this North Carolina captain. Now, right now, me and Brandon are talking back and forth. I'm asking him to see if he would allow me this North Carolina captain. I would love to have a Kraken, but unfortunately for us, this North Carolina captain is just going to run away because reasons, and he just likes to prolong the inevitable. Because obviously our team have captured all 3 caps and is going to have no problem winning on points. Now the North Carolina captain is being a pester using HE, which is not a bad thing, because obviously Brandon is currently fairly well angled against this North Carolina captain, and this North Carolina has to show a broadside just to allow his guns, all 9 of them, to open up. So I do open up, trying to get a little bit more damage, and instantly have the North Carolina captain fire at us. But fortunately, we're able to dodge most of those shells, which is actually really good, because that would have hurt. That would have hurt a lot. Now, fire chance is low on the American destroyers. It's around 8%, 8.5%, I believe, actually. And this North Carolina captain wants me dead. Ooh, look at that dispersion. That could have been really bad real quick, but fortunately, we should be fine. And this North Carolina captain is just going to run away. My torpedoes are not going to land. I know I really, really wanted a Kraken, but he is just going to run away. And look at that. Brandon got high caliber and Confederate. Oh, finally got a fire there. Getting some extra damage. But unfortunately, of course, he had damage control up and ready, and is going to get away alive, unfortunately, because we have essentially just won this game, just coming down to the end. But we're going to quickly take a look at the victory screen and jump into port. See you there. So our team earned a victory. We brought home 374,109 silver, 5,109 XP. We did 73,910 points of damage, 137 shell hits, 2 torpedo hits, 4 incapacitation, 4 kills, 5 fires, 2 flooding, 2 defended base caps, and 1 assisted base capture. We are on top of the team with a base XP of 2,197. We did 33,000 against the enemy Iowa, around 15,000 against the enemy Kagero, around 10,000 against the Atasuki, and around 3,000 against that enemy Fletcher. Our main battery guns did around 37,352, torpedoes did around 21,000, and fires and flood did a combined worth of 15,000. So overall, not too bad. So we're going to quickly jump into the port and take a look at the stats. I will see you guys there. Alright everyone, welcome back to the port, and I have to say I like the Benson. The Benson is really starting to portray the mix bag, the generalist feeling that you get with the USN destroyers. Prior to the Benson, her torpedoes were not really a good weapon. I don't want to say it's a terrible weapon. You can still use your torpedoes, but you could not fire them kind of that longer range, especially up to the Farragut, I believe. The the range on the torpedoes were quite lousy and required ambushing. Her long range is kind of faulty, usually due to the fact of her shell arc, so she's a great close quarter combat destroyer. Very close quarters, you can usually wreck any other destroyers, so that's usually her features. And detectability is pretty decent, but let's actually quickly take a look at the stats. Survivability 1800 to 18,200, so I'm trying to say there. Armor is 16 to 19 millimeters, which isn't too bad. The health is pretty decent for the Benson. You have 5 main guns, and obviously I did not, if you know about the USN destroyer line, is they can get additional hull, reduces or takes away one of the guns. It takes away this midline gun. Here, I'll quickly show you that this gun will actually disappear, and in replace it will be additional AA mounts. I believe you also will get a defensive AA. Actually, I don't think I've ever really tried that. Anyways, main guns, they have a reload time of 3.3 seconds. Turn time is 5.3 seconds, which is amazing. Max dispersion at 11.6 kilometers is 95 meters. Max HE shell damage is 1800 with a 8% fire chance. And AP damage will do 2,100. The shell velocity coming out of the guns is 792 meters per second. Kind of slow. That's why you get that very lazy shell arc, which actually can help you because you can shoot over islands. You can use islands to invisifire if properly placed. So that's the one good thing about our guns, is the lazy shell arcs does allow you to shoot over islands. Otherwise, you normally would not be able to with any other type of ship. Torpedoes, you have 2 quintuple 533 millimeters. They have a 9.2 kilometer range. They will go 55 knots, kind of slow, but decent as far as range. Reload time is 122 seconds. Max damage is 16,633, which is pretty decent. It's about 2,000 more compared to, say, the Z23. I don't have the Akatsuki. I'm actually kind of quickly curious because the Japanese line did branch off. It is, yes, the Kagero. Sorry, it is actually the Kagero. Used to be the tier 9 prior to the branching. The Kagero, I believe, has slightly more damaging torpedoes, if memory serves me. If not, it's fairly close to this. But torpedoes are a good asset. They are a good weapon to use. You can act like a torpedo boat sometimes if you need to. So this is an amazing thing to actually have. So torpedoes are a great option. AA defense is alright. Not too bad, but it's definitely not the best. You have 2 single mount 12.7 millimeters with a average damage of 8 with a firing range of 1.2 kilometers. Then you have 4 single 20 millimeters Orlikins, which are actually really good AA guns. They have an average damage of 14 with a firing range of 2 kilometers. And then your additional AA is from your guns. 5 single 127 millimeters. Average damage is 48 with a 5 kilometer range. So AA is alright. You can shoot down, especially lower tier planes, just not at a high degree as, say, cruisers or even some battleships. So that's something to keep in mind. Moving on to maneuverability, max speed is 38 knots, which is the stock. I don't have the speed flag on her, which is actually pretty good. Allows you to get around the map fairly quickly. Turning circle radius is 570 meters, which is really super nice compared to, say, some bigger, clunkier destroyers such as a Z23 and the Russian. 570 meters, pretty nice. Rudder shift time is a beautiful 4 seconds. Makes you really zippy, which is very, very nice. Allows you to dodge shots a little bit easier. Concealment is 5.8. Not as good as obviously the IJN, but second from the best as far as the tier 8 destroyers are concerned. And I believe, if memory serves me, you can actually outspot a Shima. Let me actually quickly grab my Shimakaze. Yes, you can actually outspot a Shimakaze by 100 meters. So that is something really, really nice, because generally Matchmaking likes to throw you up to tier 10, and that can be a slight pain, especially considering some tier 9s and 10 destroyers can easily chew you up, as well as cruisers such as a Des Moines or Neptune could definitely chew you up. Minotaur, I guess, for that fact, is since it is a tier 10. Alright, moving on to the modules, there is the additional Sea Hole for the Benson. What this does is it increases the damage for your AA mounts, increases it by 6, by 9, and reduces it obviously by 5 for your main guns, since you do lose one of your guns instead of having 5. But what it also does, and this is something I did not know, so this is a learning thing for me apparently, it also reduces your rudder shift time down to 2.7 seconds. That is insane, and I wish I actually paid attention, because I did not know this, but I did like the fact that I had 5 guns instead of 4, so that's why I did not go for that. When you first get her, I would say probably going for the range would be nice. Actually, yeah, the range would be nice, especially allowing you to sit in your smoke screen and bombard targets at a longer range, so you can sit more comfortably at longer range. And then go for the B hole, and then obviously the additional, and get the additional damage on the torpedoes, which is really super nice. Upgrades, fairly consistent. Normally what I do is you get main armaments mod 1, aiming systems mod 1, propulsion mod 1, propulsion mod 2, and concealment expert modification 1, which is always super nice. Moving on to my captain, Steven Seagal. I still don't know why I have him on here. I really hate listening to his voice, but it's kinda, I got stuck with him. I probably just need to get another captain and train him up, but that's gonna take a very long time for me to do. I have preventative maintenance, last stand, survivability expert, demolition expert, concealment expert, and radio location. That leaves me with 3 points. I could possibly go for basics firing training, which would increase the reload rate of my guns. I could go for, and this is thinking ahead, go for torpedo armament or torpedo acceleration. Now this is for the fact that eventually obviously this captain is going to be on the gearing, so the gearing has fairly long range torpedoes, so if I can make my torpedoes a little bit faster and just take away some of that long range, it's going to make the torpedoes a little bit more deadlier. So that's, I think, what I'm going to be eventually doing for this captain once I get it up to the gearing. But anyways, this is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we are saying goodbye to the Benson. So long, Benson. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijian.